This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity Podcast. Today's discussion is Krispy Kreme, a metaphor for life. 3 key points. So here's the story on Krispy Kreme, and here's where we connect this to a metaphor for life. And bear with me on this, and you'll see what you think. So first, Krispy Kreme a couple days ago announced a deal where McDonald's is going to carry Krispy Kreme in, I think, all their stores or something like that. This led Krispy Kreme to jump 40%, so had a great day. The next day went down 11%. And so here's what this reminds me of. There's so many other stories here. We'll talk about the McDonald's part of this in a second. But here's where this is a metaphor for life. Anybody who has struggled to stay in shape throughout their entire life knows that you have ups and downs. And what the Krispy Kreme donut thing reminded me of yesterday was when it went up 40% and then down 11%, it's the opposite of watching the scale. Scale goes down 10 pounds, 10 pounds, and you feel like, oh my God, I've now figured out how to diet and what I need to do to keep my weight where I want it to be. And bear with me, I'm in fine enough shape for my age. Not great. Was a high school wrestler, was in good shape at one time, but fine, not great. But bear with me. But the point is more, as soon as you think you've got something licked, that you figured out, licked, not like a donut, eaten, not like a donut. But as soon as you figure out you've got something figured out, I think this is true of so much of life. You let up a little bit or the weight creeps back on. For me, it's a little bit adding sugar back into my diet, and all of a sudden those 10 pounds are back on. And the real story is not to give yourself grace, not give yourself grace, but the real third point of this, in terms of Krispy Kreme being a metaphor for life, is you have to accept that it's going to be a constant effort to work at these things. They're probably never going to be solved. It's like building a software company. The software is never going to be perfect. It's a constant work in process. And quite frankly, the Krispy Kreme going up and down, the weight going up and down, one thing working and then having to figure it out again. This, I think, is at the end of the day a metaphor for life. So don't get too upset yourself when the weight creeps up a little bit, when the portfolio goes down a little bit. But just realize it's the work of life. It's to constantly be trying to get better, constantly trying to improve, constantly trying to figure things out. And it feels so good when you feel like you've got them figured out. Reminds me of my golf game, quite frankly. And then all of a sudden it's a debacle again. But it is what it is. I mean, it's a constant effort and challenge to figure out life, to figure out what you're doing, and to get better at things like weight control. In any event, Krispy Kreme is a metaphor for life. I hope you enjoy this. If you enjoyed it, please give me a text, 773-766-5322. And in fact, if you're the first person to text that you listen to the Krispy Kreme one, even if you think this is a ridiculous metaphor for life, I don't. I'll send you a $100 Amazon gift certificate. Thank you very much for listening to the Becker Private Equity Podcast.